Hello, and welcome to Career Infusion. I'm your host, Tracy Kane Lofty. Career Infusion is brought to you through the Lofty Group, which is a consulting company that focuses on career development and organizational leadership. As such, the premise of Career Infusion is to encourage and to empower our viewers to pursue their professional career goals. Career Infusion is streamed live from Listen Vision Studios in Washington, D.C. And really the core audience with Listen Vision Studios that really is with the hip hop community. So I am really pleased to be able to present my show to this audience. I'm also very honored to be able to showcase for the first time on Career Infusion an extremely talented artist. Her name is Crystal Sessoms, and she also has another name which goes by Sable, and she is a producer, she is an actress, she is a spoken word artist, and she is a phenomenal woman. Welcome, Crystal Sessoms.
When will the caged bird sing? He was waiting for time to stand still and let life breathe. Walking on the asphalt where brick shrines worship poverty and hope was buried in reflections filled with despair. The day was burning on the boulevard when I met him swaying in confidence. He walked towards me as lifted on a breeze, his eyes gold from a glossy extract from trees. And although a spiritual connection was missing, something in him touched me. After months of rhythms, melodies, and conversations, he nicknamed me his butterfly, said I had the wings that could make him fly. And for me, he tried to live instead of waiting for each day to pass. And so I tried. With the wisdom in my mind, with the words on my tongue, with the rhythm of my spine, I tried to carry him away from the rocks, hitting the blocks, the screams after dreams defer and caramelize, the tainted sky filled with lies, the fog that blinded his path. But my remix wasn't enough. The mixture of brotherhood, lust, and cash was my competition in the battle for his ascension. You see, his descending life kept the tension between us. And as I soared, still bars caged his flight. You see, his dreams ended when his obsession with cream, cash, rules, everything around me blinded his possession for life. He looked at me through dingy plexiglass as forget-me-nots rang in the uncorrectional atmosphere as he began to build concrete layers around his spirit. Whenever you need me, I'm here. No, whenever you need me, I'm here. Whenever you need me, I'm here. Dissipated until a faint strand of tears drowned the love he could no longer give. And now sometimes I find myself just waiting for time to stand still and let life breathe.
Thank you, Crystal Sessoms, also known as Sable. We are going to take a quick break and we'll be right back to interview Crystal. Thank you. Welcome back to Career Infusion. I'm your host, Tracy Kane Lofty. Our guest for today is the very talented Crystal Sessoms, also known as Sable Liqueur. Welcome, Crystal.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Crystal is creative, dramatic, and inspirational. These are just a few words to describe her. Born and raised in Hampton, Virginia, Crystal's love for the arts began as a small child singing in the church choir with her mother around the house. As a teenager, she became noticed for her vocal style and her participation in Black History dramatic presentations in churches in the Hampton Roads community. At the age of 14, she exemplified her leadership abilities by becoming one of the youngest drum majors in the history of Hampton High School. Crystal went on to attend James Madison University, where she majored in English and began to fall in love with writing, especially poetry. Known for encouraging others through her verbal vibes, she began to add music to her poetry, embarking on her first steps as a spoken word artist and as a songwriter. Her love for writing led her to become a news and entertainment journalist, as well as a published poet. But it wasn't long before the acting bug resurfaced, leading her to perform in various productions, including The Fifth, Every Man, Victory Manor, For Colored Girls, The Last Song, The Abolitionist Museum, African Kings, Barry Bowles' Nothing to Lose, and Yubi. Additionally, she has served as a theatrical educator for Kaiser Permanente and a drummer and dancer for Gawaiian Mata, African dance company in Atlanta, Georgia. These days, Crystal has combined all of her gifts and talents to start Seed of Hope Productions, a full-service entertainment entity designed to entertain, heal, love, and inspire through quality artistic productions and publications. Its first in-house production, Sisters Without Voices, has turned into a theatrical success and was followed by the stage play Truth and Freedom, which highlights the lives of people from Newport News who have made a difference in the world. Under her direction, the production company has also joined forces with other talented individuals and companies to produce Showtime at the Attucks in Norfolk, Virginia, Sultry Soul Sessions in Richmond, Virginia, All the Way Live in Newport News and Hampton, Virginia, and Heart to Heart Talk Show in Hampton, Virginia. Through Seed of Hope Productions, Crystal currently serves as the director for the Newsom House Museum and Cultural Center in Newport News, Virginia. She encourages everyone to go to Seed of Hope and to also support Seed of Hope in everything they do and continues to spread messages of love and respect in order to elevate the masses. Again, welcome, Crystal.
Thank you.
So you are so talented. I'm not really sure which area we should start with. So you did just perform spoken word.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your background with spoken word and where you perform and how you started.
Okay. I really got the love for spoken word in college. There was a conference called Furious Flowers at my college, and it came my sophomore year. And my freshman year, I was having a hard time figuring out exactly what I wanted to do. I started out as a accounting major, and that wasn't going well at all. And so I had an important meeting finally with the dean of the business college, and he said to me, well, we make classes really hard in the beginning to weed people like you out. And I told him, well, I think you've been successful. And almost a week later, my English professor came to me and asked me, well, what are you planning to do with your life? And I boo-hooed, and I said, I don't know, I'm trying to figure it out. And so she said, you should really consider something in this field. Come around the English department, get to know people, and see how it goes. And I absolutely loved it. So the following year, they had a conference called Furious Flowers, and poets from everywhere came to perform and speak, and they were hands-on with us. We could ask them questions. Poets like Sonia Sanchez, Mari Evans, Nikki Giovanni, Amiri Baraka. I was completely blown away. So I knew then that I wanted to be a poet, but also a poet that performs. And during that time, which was some years ago, I'm not going to tell my age, spoken word was really just beginning to grow and thrive. There were poets doing performance poetry, but it really wasn't called spoken word just yet. That was growing. So I had a great time being very young and exploring through poetry and just never stopped.
Okay, well, you go by the name of Sable. So how was that name selected?
Well, I have a very professional life as an artist. I consider myself a creative professional. And so sometimes in that world, you can't say everything and sing everything that you want to. So I created this alter ego, Sable, just so I can still feel comfortable with expressing myself through music, songs, and poetry. I chose Sable because of the darkness of my skin. And growing up as a little girl, that just wasn't always favored. I was teased as other young dark skinned little girls with nappy hair. I was teased, and so I chose Sable because the fur of a sable is one of the richest, most expensive, but it's also one of the darkest, and it's very beautiful and it's honored. And so liqueur comes from lick. So I took the word lick from a musical lick and added or, and I consider myself the essential element to a musical lick.
Okay, very good, very good. And you're even just the way that you express yourself. I mean, I am in awe, and you are absolutely beautiful. I wasn't going to say it, but this is a cousin of mine.
Yes,
But
yes.
she is absolutely beautiful, and you are so talented. You also are an actress.
Yes.
And a producer. So when did you start acting?
I started acting probably around 8 or 9 years old. I had a mentor growing up one of many, who did Black History Month theater all around the city. And she selected me to be a part of it. And I really believe that is when I really first got the bug for acting. But once I got to JMU, I realized that I could do a lot of my credits through the theater department. And I did that. I started camping out the theater department. I started taking classes in the theater department and just really fell in love with it, and combined the English and the writing with the theater, and just really started a career.
So did you actually take courses in theater?
Yes, I did. A lot of playwriting classes, poetry classes, performing classes. Yes.
So where do you draw the strength for your characters?
Everyday life. Aunts and uncles. I was definitely a child that watched and listened all the time. I was like a fly on the wall growing up. And so I just feel like all of those experiences, all of those conversations, when I started writing, just started to channel through me.
Okay. And you are also a producer.
Yes.
And so you are producing through Seed of Hope.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so
Yes.
tell us more about Seed of Hope.
Seed of Hope Productions started about 6 years ago. I wanted an opportunity to take all of my talents and put them in one house. And so that's why I started the production company. And then in my area where I live, there's so many talented people, and I wanted to be able to provide opportunities for others as well. So that's why I started Seed of Hope Productions. My first major client was the city of Newport News, and they were looking for someone to write African American historical plays about African Americans from Newport News. And so I wrote one of my first productions, Truth and Freedom, which showcased people like Ella Fitzgerald and Pearl Bailey, who are all from Newport News.
Okay. Well, we have a video. We actually have a couple of videos, so let's go ahead and show one of those now.
I got a special treat for the ladies in the booth today, so you don't want to touch that dial.
You know, you quick to run every time a problem comes up.
It's time to go. It's time to go.
Excuse me,
Vision might get blurry a little bit.
I think I have enough information for today.
It's not worth the risk. I almost died from this just because I thought I could look better.
Mr. Gentleman.
I love that place.
No, you did. What physical feature is most important?
The bills got to get paid.
I noticed that the women with the implants and the injections, they was getting paid. They was just getting paid more.
This could be the start of something better.
It's worth a shot. I mean, he cares about you a lot.
She knows who she is. Just wish I had a chance to know the real you.
You already say she want no man, bro. Tell the truth, man.
Now everybody deserves a second chance. We can take it as slow as you want to.
As long as who she turned out to be ain't a man, then I could probably work through anything else.
Camille is a keeper, man. She one of them jewels.
Girl, please. You were only dating him for 3 months. I mean, what did you really expect?
These men don't desire me. They desire an image that I'm forced to be in order to make it in this industry.
What was that? I'm gonna need you to be embarrassing him.
Yeah, not us.
We are back with Crystal Sessoms, who is an artist, producer, actress, just all around talented. So Crystal, that particular movie is She's Gotta Get It, and that is through your production company, Seed of Hope. And so tell us about any future movies that you have in the works.
I'm actually writing right now, so a new film. So I don't want to give it away just yet, but I would like to talk about She's Gotta Get It and how it came about. The concept actually came to me in a dream. So I really felt really strongly about the vision of the movie. And it's about a young woman who loses her boyfriend to a woman who's very voluptuous. And she begins to question herself, like, am I pretty enough? And so she decides to explore the world of plastic surgery, as many of our young women are doing today. And she learns a lot of things about plastic surgery that people aren't willing to really put out there, that you don't hear about. Like, it's not always the best thing to do. And there are a lot of stories and a lot of cases where women have had serious health issues and even died from plastic surgery, and you never hear that. So I felt the story was very important to our times right now for women. And at the end of the film, I won't give it all away, you know, she's uplifted, encouraged to find love the right way and not through trying to alter or change herself.
Okay, and then what are some of the other, I know that you have quite a few videos on YouTube, and also the website, seedofhope.com is where people can find more information about upcoming events as well. And so I'm wondering, you mentioned that you draw strength from everyday life, but what has been the greatest challenge for you as an artist?
I think overcoming the notion and idea that you can't be successful as an artist. I think it's a profession where a lot of times people will discourage you because they say, well, you can't make any money, you know, you can't get anywhere with it, and there's only 2 places that you can go to be an artist, and that is Hollywood and New York. And with these days and times, that's just not true. It's a profession just like any other profession. So 1, you need to get some education. You need to get some experience. And there are many avenues for artists, not just being an actress in Hollywood or on Broadway. There are so many different avenues. And I've been blessed and fortunate through my journey to be able to explore a lot of those avenues. And so I try to instill that into other young people as well.
Okay. And who really, though, has been your greatest role model?
Wow, I've had so many. Overall, my mother is my greatest role model. She was just a very strong woman who never let anybody tell her that she couldn't do anything. And she accomplished so many things and was given very little to accomplish those things. But outside of the experience with the Furious Flowers conference, I had another experience early on in my career where I toured with a stage play called What's on the Hearts of Men. And it was written by Malik Yoba, and it featured BB Winans and Stephanie Mills. Okay. And it was my first experience seeing a theatrical production and being a part of it on that level. And it just really changed my life to watch Stephanie Mills perform every night the same way, never miss a beat, never miss a note, never miss her mark. It was just amazing. And the same thing for BB Winans. Mm-hmm. It was just absolutely amazing. And then to have that opportunity, particularly with BB, to talk about a profession as an artist and a career as an artist, and for him to be on that level and still always encouraging many of us that were on a smaller level and still trying to figure it out was just an amazing experience. And I never forget a conversation that I had with him, and he told me to never give up. And whenever times get hard, I remember that in the back of my head. I hear his voice. So that really changed my life as well.
Well, and I was wondering, what is it that keeps you motivated on a daily basis?
Love for it. I love it. I can't turn it off. It's just me. It's just who I am. And I decided when I was younger that I wanted to live a life and be on a journey where I can be who I truly am. And I believe that this is my purpose in life. That is why it's so important for me through Cedar Hope Productions to make sure that whether it's music, whether it's film, or whether it's theater, that it's something positive, that it's something that is encouraging others, and it's something that's healing other people, because I believe that this is my purpose. This is a really spiritual journey and path for me.
So that leads me to the next question, and that is really, how do you define success? Because everything is not monetary.
Right. For me, success, it's making sure that I'm positive, making sure that I'm helping others, and making sure that my heart and spirit is fulfilled. And that's a special feeling. It's not something that I can tell you how to measure it, but it's something that you know inside of you when it happens. When you're doing something that you feel you're called to do, that is success. And things begin to fall into place when you listen to God, and when you have that spiritual journey with it, things begin to fall into place and you know you're on the right path.
Okay, so you are also a singer.
Yes.
And we are going to show a quick clipping of a video of you performing.
Music.
He was waiting for time to stand still and let life breathe. Walking on the asphalt where brick shrines worship poverty and hope was buried in reflections filled with despair. The day was burning on the boulevard when I met him swaying in confidence. He walked toward me as lifted on a breeze. His eyes glowed with a glossy extract from trees. And although a connection of spirit was missing, something in him touched me. After months of melodies, rhythms, and conversations, he nicknamed me his butterfly. Said I had the wings that could make him fly, and for me, he tried to live instead of waiting for each day to pass. And so I tried, with the wisdom of my mind, with the prayers on my tongue, with the music in my spine, I tried to carry him away from the rocks, hitting the blocks, the screams after dreams defer and caramelize, the tainted sky filled with lies, the fog that blinded his path. But my remix wasn't enough. The mixture of lust and cash was my competition. In the battle for his ascension, his descending life kept the tension between us. And as I soared, steel bars caged his flight. You see, his dreams ended with his obsession for cream. Cash rules everything around me, blinded his possession for life. He looked at me through
dingy plexiglass as forget-me-nots rang in the uncorrectional atmosphere as he began to build concrete layers around his spirit. Whenever you need me, I'm here. Whenever you need me, I'm here. Whenever you need me, I'm here. Dissipated until a faint strand of tears drowned the love he could no longer give. And now sometimes I find myself waiting for time to stand still and let life breathe. Somebody tell me what's going on. In the sky's an explosion, snipers lurking right there around my home. On my block, another brother got shot, and he's laying 2 feet from a lady. Some say she's crazy, but she's crying for a home. I understand my things ain't the way they used to be. Laid off from work and debt is wrong with my insecurities. Government commands, war plans on other lands. Why there's so much confusion right here where we're staying. Somebody tell me what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. Oh, hey. Somebody tell me what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. It's supposed to be. Claiming our fellow man ain't our responsibility. While a teenage girl is shaking up for a grown man, a boy is being touched by his teacher, called on the preacher, and he got his own problems. On her way home from work, an old lady got robbed by a man whose baby is dying of sickness not covered under his insurance plan. Everybody hating, a boy graduating and he can't even read. Why can't we see? Divided we're weak, we need a dose of unity. Somebody tell me what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. Yeah. Somebody tell me what's going on. Oh, why can't you tell me? Why can't you tell me? Yeah. Somebody tell me what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh. Somebody tell me what's going on. Oh, yeah. Oh, what's going on? Yeah. Sweet way, yeah. What's going on?
And again, you are watching Career Infusion with Crystal Sessoms, also known as Sable Liqueur. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Welcome back to Career Infusion. I'm your host, Tracy Kane Lofty. Our guest for today is Crystal Sessoms, and she is an actress, producer, and spoken word artist. And again, just very, very extremely talented, and we're very pleased to have her in our presence today.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome
so glad
back.
to be here. So glad.
Okay, so we want to hear more about your production company and then also about your upcoming projects that you are working on. So Seed of Hope is your production company, and you're based out of Hampton, Virginia. Is
Yes,
that correct?
that's correct.
Okay, and tell us more about that. And do you recruit artists, or how do you actually get individuals to perform through the production company?
We do a lot of auditions, but I also have a team of actors, musicians, and singers that I always pull from first for productions. And these are people who have been involved with Cedar Hope Productions, some of them before Cedar Hope Productions was a production company. So I'm very fortunate. But we do have auditions, and I like to go out and scout for talent as well. So I go to open mics, I go to all type of theatrical performances, wherever I feel like I can find talent, and just kind of scout talent as well.
Okay, well, I noticed in the video you had quite a few musicians, and so I'm wondering, are those local musicians as well?
Yes, I perform a lot with a group called Fortresses, and they're young musicians in my area, and they are forming their new form and sound of jazz, and really bringing back jazz for everyone, but from a younger, fresh, clean perspective. And I really love what they're doing. So I incorporate them. I perform with them a lot, and I incorporate them into my theatrical productions as well.
Okay, so as the creative director and founder for Seed of Hope, I'm wondering, where do you see yourself and your production company, let's just say in the next 5 years?
Definitely traveling, a lot of traveling. Right now, I have a show called The Hidden Voice Experience. And what it is, it features a stage play called Sisters Without Voices. And it's men telling women's stories. And the women do not verbally speak in the project. They only speak through movement. And it's a small 6-member cast, so I'm able to move that production. And so I'm looking forward to traveling more. A couple of weeks ago, we were at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. We've been Virginia State. We've been to a few smaller venues and galleries in Richmond. So right now I'm looking for more traveling. Definitely working on getting that show in particular here in Washington, D.C., and Atlanta as well, and even in L.A. So travel. I feel like where I'm from, people know me. They know Cedar Hope Productions, but now it's time for the entire world to know.
Well, you have a really good website. It's visually crisp. It's to the point. I think the mission of the organization is very well defined. So I'm wondering, do you have a business plan or a work plan for Seed of Hope? How do you set your goals for the year?
Yes, I do. I do have a business plan. And in fact, when I first started, I had a young lady who sat down with me and really started to incorporate and give me ideas as far as the business plan. So now I'm at a point where it's time to take my business plan to the next level. So I'm working on that right now. But yes, a business plan is extremely important to success. And, you know, I've made some mistakes in the beginning, being a very creative person, and then sometimes getting so caught up in the creativity that I would neglect the business side. So once you make a couple of mistakes, you're like, oh, wait a minute, we got to fix this, we got to correct this. So I've learned that the creative side is just as important as the business side, and vice versa.
So as a producer and the founder and creative director with Seed of Hope, you have to work with really diverse people. And when I say diverse, I mean in every aspect, not just perhaps appearance or religion, but also the way people think. and the way that they act and the way that they respond. So
Very
I'm
true.
wondering, what tips could you provide for individuals who may be aspiring to be a producer or an artist? What tips do you have for working with diverse groups?
The first thing is don't give up. It can be challenging sometimes, especially if you are working in a smaller city. So number one, don't give up. The second thing is education. Find ways to get educated, whether it's finding a mentor, whether it's shadowing someone, whether it's going to college, whether it's a workshop, whether it's a class. Get educated. Education takes you to a whole nother level. And then I would also say, be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to fail, because in our failures come our greatest successes. So allow yourself to fail. That is going to happen. Life isn't perfect. No one's perfect. And you have to go through these challenges to get better. So allow yourself to fail and pick yourself back up so you can get that success that you want.
I think it's so important that you explain that, because a lot of people think that they go on an interview, that they should get the first job offer that they have. And I'm sure when it comes to acting or whatever, people think, oh, I'm going on this interview or audition, and they're hoping that they get the first one. But there will be several, if not many, doors to close, but you have to continue pushing on. And it's all those doors closing that make you even better at your craft.
Very true, very true. And particularly with acting, auditions, that's a big part of the process. People telling you no is a big part of the process. So go ahead and get your skin very thick, because that is going to happen. But when you get that yes and you get that opportunity, it just makes it even greater.
What would you say, Crystal, has been your greatest accomplishment as an artist?
Really getting over the hurdle that I could be an artist. That has been my greatest accomplishment, because once I did that, that just changed my whole life and perspective completely. It really changed my level of success. It changed my confidence. And when my confidence changed, the whole world just seemed to open up. There was just so many more ideas that would just come. People would just start coming. So getting over that hurdle that I could be an artist and I could be successful at it has really been my biggest accomplishment.
So for people who have all of these great ideas, and they may be writing poetry or writing words to songs, and they're just kind of saving them and thinking, oh, I'll just keep it for my own use. No one will ever really thoroughly enjoy this. It's just for my own personal use. How would you motivate someone to actually pursue their dream as an artist?
I actually started out that way with my poetry. I wrote a poem, and as cheesy as this may sound, I wrote a poem for a friend who was going through a difficult time. And another friend accidentally came across it when I was in college and read it. And she was in tears after the poem, like it really moved her. And it was the first time that I noticed that something that I had written could move someone like that. So definitely share. Share your poems, share your songs. We live in a time where there are so many opportunities everywhere to share. There are so many open mics. There are open mics everywhere, so share with your friends, give a poem away. It could uplift someone, even if you don't want to be on a stage, you can still use your writing and poetry and your songs to help someone else. So share, do that. You'll be amazed at the response that you'll get,
So you are working on a CD, is that
Yes,
correct? So
yes.
tell the audience about that.
It's entitled When Will We See? And the producer is a jazz artist from Hampton, Virginia, named Martin Bloxson, and he's gotten some acclaim all over the world. His name is Martin Bloxson, and it's such a privilege to work with him. He's really helped me grow through this process with the CD. It is my first spoken word CD, and it really focuses on the the times, what we're going through right now, what people are going through right now, there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of pain that we are seeing every day. And I just wanted to use this platform to be able to talk about it. There are still things that are happening involving racism. There are still a lot of hurt and pain that women are going through. Families are being broken. I mean, there's just so much, and I just wanted to use this platform to talk about it and hopefully start a dialogue so that others can talk and come together and that we can heal. I do a lot of that work at the Newsom House, where I am the director, and we have a lot of community organizations that come in, and there are a lot of young people who are really working in all different areas to help and heal our world, from the environment to helping abuse men and women. And when I first got to the museum, I had no idea that all of this was going on, especially coming from young people. And I learned that they needed sometimes a home, sometimes they needed some resources, sometimes just a place to have a meeting. And so we opened our doors at the Newsom House for them to be able to do this. And it's just great to see young people working and changing our world, no matter what we see in the media, because there's a lot of things that we see negative with young people in the media. No matter what we see in the media, there's really a lot of young people doing positive things. And so I definitely wanted to be able to talk about that through my spoken word CD.
Well, I really applaud you for pursuing your passion. I applaud you for launching Seed of Hope, and that is giving a voice to so many in the community and an opportunity for individuals to showcase their talent. Now, Seed of Hope has a website, and I mentioned it earlier, but it is seedahope.com, and that's SEEDAHOPE.com.
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then is there a Facebook page or Twitter, any other social media?
Yes, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube under Seed of Hope.
All righty. And do you also perform for organizations and conferences and?
Yes, I'm available for all of those things. And you can also book me through seedahope.com, as well as Fortresses as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Crystal. And this is going to conclude this segment of Career Infusion. Again, Career Infusion is brought to you through the Lofty Group, which is a consulting company that focuses on career development and organizational leadership. As such, we offer workshops throughout the country. Most recently, actually, the Lofty Group trained a board of directors for a national organization, and we also gave a 3-hour workshop on career advancement strategies. So we are available as well, and you can go to theloftygroup.com for more information. This concludes this segment of Career Infusion. Thank you.